boys and girls.
You're gonna want to go first? You want me?
No, I think you're longer, right? So probably a bit slower. And yours is 100,000, mine is 80, so you probably can go forward. But just give me a second. So you all warmed up, ready to go?
Yep. Just give me the word. Give me the word.
Okay. And we have a guest on the show who has been watching my channel, and he's a heavy hauler himself. So 612, what is this? August 13th, Thursday, 2020. I'm still getting used to my iPhone Pro 11 Max. And I want to record this part, not everything, because I just uploaded what, like 3 hours worth of videos loading yesterday. So now I just want to show you guys that I think at night it will look pretty. So we're leaving Esso or Husky in Nipigon, going east, and you know we're gonna go on that lake, and it's gonna be interesting with the sunrise, you know. So. All right, I'm ready. You go ahead. So yeah, he's driving a red Argosy. Don't see them every day here. A red Argosy. And he has kind of like a unique setup. It's Aspen extendable trailer, 3+2. It is a 60-ton, but it's extendable, so he has small tires. It's kind of like designed for tow loads, and it's a rail trailer. Like you can remove it, but it's like it has those rails, you know, for a railroad machine. So the one he has on is it has rail wheels. And so we decided to try to go together. I said, hey, I'm not sure about that. I said, I'm a very slow driver, so and he says, hey, I'm slow too. Okay. Pre-dawn hours. Alright, we got my lights on. So he's much longer. He's like 95 feet long, even though he has a cab over. And his company does not believe in lift axles. So he's running a regular truck with a single axle Jeep. And I mentioned this before, is that when you're using a single axle Jeep, it increases your overall height by about 6 inches. So he was saying that when they design their trailers, they take that into account, and so they tell the manufacturer to you know, to adjust the height, because they know that they will be using them with the single axle Jeep. And so then it works, you know, then it's not, your overall height is not as bad, right? But if I were to hook up a single axle Jeep, I would be much taller. And so I'm not a fan. Like, you know, if you have a Jeep, might as well have a tandem, right? So that's what I have. So I just have a tandem. And when I go to Western Canada, they don't punish me in any way for being slightly longer, right? So I don't see any detriment in having a tandem Jeep versus single axle Jeep, but I don't know. We are in Ontario, right? I'm in Ontario, so over here lift axles are very popular because they're like, you can do the same, right, with a single axle Jeep, but a lift axle is cheaper and it's lighter, like if you compare with the single axle Jeep. Like guys in Western Canada, they use them all the time because they don't have a choice, because the government prohibits them to deploy lift axles on the ground, on the truck, right? And so, but even those Alberta guys, they I see they put small lift axles, you know, like 13,000 pounds. And I asked him, I said, what is this for? And they said, well, we go into US. And so they would love to use those axles, but unfortunately they're not allowed, you know. And so I'm pretty sure they are envious of Ontario, because over here we can use them, and so I don't have to carry the single axle Jeep with me, you know. Oh, check this out. Isn't it gorgeous, like this bridge over here? And so this is where the 11 and 17 they split. You see on my GPS it says left. So if you go straight, that's
500 meters. Turn left onto Trans-Canada Highway, Ontario 11 East. Signs for Beardmore, Cochrane.
Yeah, if you go straight, that's Highway 17. But we're going left on 11 because I'm not going on 17 loaded. It's too hilly, and it's much slower.
Turn left onto Trans-Canada Highway, Ontario 11 East. Signs for Beardmore, Cochrane.
Yeah, there was a lot of construction, so I hope they don't have as much construction on 11.
Continue on Trans-Canada Highway for 613 kilometers.
I was afraid he would be too slow, because he was saying, I said, how fast do you drive? He says, well, I drive between 89 and 92. And I'm like, okay, that's what I do. But I see that he's pulling away like a rocket, you know. And so he has that machine. It does not look too heavy, but when I talked to this guy, I said, so how heavy is this? He says 100,000 pounds, 50 tons. I said, no. He says, yeah, look at, like, and he showed me where the like the frame is like this thick, and the top on the sides, you know, but it's some kind of a railroad testing machine. It does something when it goes on the rails. It has some kind of a testing thing in there, and it's testing rails, you know. So anyway, this is the spot that I love and I hate, because it's, you know, I showed this before. Very twisty. And then, yeah, you see this? So the black one is the lake, and the road goes like this. And he has no light on the roof, which is, it's not required in Ontario on the truck. But I have my own, because you have to have that light on, I think, when you're over a certain length. But I put it on just, you know, just to warn people, especially on this narrow road. But you need that light in Ontario only if your speed will go more than 20 kilometers down below the speed limit. And that happens all the time, right? Because they're gonna be right after this lake. They're gonna be a pretty bad area, because there's gonna be very steep hills. Like here, I don't even during the day, I don't drive faster than, you know, 80 kilometers an hour, 50, because the turns are pretty sharp. If he gets ahead, we're gonna catch him on those hills after the lake, because they're like this. But I'm gonna ask him what I think they built that truck, you know. He works for a company, and he was telling me they built that truck, so I guess it's either zero emissions or, you know, like one of those kits where they use
Traffic signals ahead here.
yeah, 10-4. And that's what we had when I was coming from Toronto on Highway 11. It was this stuff all the time. You know, you're driving, the speed limit is 90 kilometers an hour, then all of a sudden it says speed limit up ahead 70. Lights, flagman. And we were talking about this, how far we want to go, because he's going pretty much to the same, you know, Toronto area, right? And I said, I don't know about you, but I said, on these roads, because, you know, we go through many. Therefore, yeah, I see he's saying there's a stop sign, there's a light. I wish I had a camera. I could have stopped here, took a picture. So my new camera is coming. So I have no cameras now, right? So sold the Canon EOS R because I have an order in place for Canon EOS R6. And I sold all lenses. The only lens I also ordered with lens I ordered with R6 is this a little bit ridiculous f11 800mm. And so I'm gonna pick up wildlife photography again, but then of course I need one more lens like for every day. So I'm debating between 1535 or 2470. I'll just buy again the 35mm. Yeah, and that's what they had on 17. I don't know, every 5 kilometers we had this. Oh yeah, and so I was talking to my partner in crime here. I said, so what do you think we'll get today at the end of the day? And he said, well, maybe New Liskeard or maybe North Bay. So what? Like, I programmed A&W Burger Place as my destination. A&W Burger Place in Cochrane, and it's 600 kilometers. So normally it would take 6.5 hours. I know over here 150 kilometers takes me 2 hours. So it's a full day to reach that. And he wants to go, New Liskeard is 2 hours further, and North Bay is 2 hours after that. I said, I'm not sure how you're gonna make North Bay, like maybe New Liskeard. But one thing for sure, it's gonna be a very long day. But I had a good sleep. I have my coffee. Don't like Husky coffee. I cannot say I'm a fan of Husky coffee. Like, honestly, even though they're greedy and the prices are on fuel are super high, I like Pilot's coffee. And Love's also, I don't know, it has a strong coffee, you know, especially like the dark. But these guys, I use that high octane, high caffeine. Half a cup is that high caffeine, and you don't even feel it. Oh, sunrise 6:33, and Google said 6:43. Google, because of you, we left at 6:20. We left the truck stop at 6:20, like half an hour. We could have left at 6:10. No, wait, it's 6:30, so we could have left at 6 o'clock. See? You cannot trust people. You have to do everything yourself. And what's funny is that, yeah, yesterday I uploaded a bunch of videos, right? Because I was recording on 3 cameras and I thought people would find it interesting. I checked this morning, I checked the views. If I do videos about photography or cars, you guys are complaining, right? Oh, we need trucking videos. Get back to trucking. Let's get a load. So now I give you trucking videos. I'm loading, I'm driving. Right, I showed driving over there. 2,000 views. So if I don't see any improvement in views by the end of today, no, okay, I'm gonna upload this video at the end of today. So if I don't see any improvement in views on these 3 blockbusters, we're gonna switch to flowers, hot houses, and maybe, I'm still thinking, maybe spacewalking. So you guys better, you know, get your act together and start watching, because you can imagine how much time I spent yesterday behind the computer making these videos, which are free for you to watch. So of course I'm joking, but I'm only half joking. So if you don't watch trucking videos, just next time please do not complain when I'm uploading something on a topic I like, because again, this is my channel, but of course the name of the channel is Heavy Haul TV, so it's geared towards heavy haul, but I have other interests as well. And so it's like, just like that, I forgot the name of that radio station, what was it called? Like, I ran into them in the States, I ran into them in Canada, and they have a catchy slogan which sounds like this: we play what we want. We play what we want. And they were joking, they said when they just started, some listeners were calling in and say, hey, are you guys making a mistake? You mean you play what we want? Like, we the viewers? And the guy says, no, we play what we want. We, the owners of the radio station. We basically don't care about you. And so people were confused, you know. But that's the slogan of this little channel. I play what I want. Alright, I set the cruise at 91.56. So let's see if he can keep up. Hey, I got the cruise at 91. That's okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright. Hey, what axle ratio does your truck have?
390s.
Oh, okay, same here. I actually have 410, but I have 24.5 tires, so it's actually 391.
Yeah, it'll be the same. You'll probably gain on me here on the hills for sure, but like I said, yeah. I wish I had 411s there to do when I'm doing the stuff this heavy.
What tires do you have on the truck? What size tires?
22.5s.
Oh, so you have your gear ratio actually is 391 or 390, right?
Yeah, same as basically we're both the same with the big tires, and the 411s were roughly the same.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I got it like this, so in case if I decide I need more torque, I can change tires. Because if I keep the same rims, but I go to a low profile, like 285, 24.5, then it becomes like 410.
Yeah.
This is so he has the same axle ratio.
Oh, I think that Cummins there, you're probably going to put in a little bit more jam than I got there too. So, like I said, you might have to kick your cruise out when you run into me.
Now, how much torque do you have, your engine?
Yeah, 1850.
Okay, yeah, I got 200 pounds more, and my load is 20,000 pounds lighter. But it's okay, like average speed here, I know, like I programmed Cochrane for the end of the day. I know it'll take me 8 hours.
Yeah. I got North State programmed, so it'll be
about that. I always forget about these summer restrictions.
Yeah, we're okay up here, but down south there.
Well, my plan is to get to Cambridge, to my yard, by the start of that curfew, by 3 p.m.
Yeah, you might want to get a little, I'm not sure. You'd be pretty close. Get daylight fairly early, so if you got going first thing in the morning from Cochrane, you'd probably be pretty close to making it there by 3, I would think.
Yeah, I might need to go to New Lisker, you know, like 2 more hours from Cochrane.
Yeah, I figure I can still make it if I only get as far as New Lisker. I can probably still, if I had to get out of Ontario by 3 there.
Yeah, when I go to New Lisker, I usually, you know, don't stop at the truck stop, but I go into inside that Walmart. Except it's super difficult to make that entry over there. They have all these curbs from both directions, you know, north, south. It's very tricky. So he reminded me that
typically when I'm going south, I usually stop at Gillies there, or whatever they call it, just because it's on the right side of the road to get pulled in. Typically they got lots of parking.
Oh yeah, I know that one. That's across the street, right, from Husky, I think.
Yeah, I don't mind supporting them because they're, like I said, I don't ever eat in the truck, and I go in there and get a shower. The guy that run out, he kind of owned it. I think he was a truck driver to start there, but all the beers in the bathrooms are West Coast beers, and they got the counter, the trailer, and they got a Peterbilt driving through the wall in the restaurant there.
And so that's in New Lisker, right?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Pretty good on this truck, so but if I change tires, I think I might go to those like what I mentioned, 285 24.5s, and then the truck of course will be lower a little bit, but I will also get the genuine 4:10 ratio. Of course I would have to go to Kenworth and reprogram the ECU. Otherwise the speedometer will be off, and also I would need to change the height of the lift axle.
Checked out the construction. There's a few spots of construction across here this morning. One lane construction going this way as well.
Is it for us too, or only coming this way?
For us, like going down to one lane, so going this way. I showed it on the website there. They shut down one lane at 7:30 in the morning or something.
10-4. And yesterday, yeah, we were walking around looking at his trailer, my trailer, talking about options, you know, what he can do to make it better. Like he's trying to get a trailer which is lower, because his trailer is awfully tall because it's an extendable. You know, it has to have that mass of metal, right? So you cannot have everything. You cannot have an extendable which is also a mini deck. That's what he's trying to get, a mini deck, you know, like 12 inch loaded deck height. I saw those, by the way. XL has I think it's a 55 ton or like mini deck extendable, but the curve of the deck is like huge, you know. So if you don't have a weight, let's say you have a load which is like 30,000-40,000 pounds, it's gonna be too tall, you know, because it has to have that shape for heavy loads. Like for my trailer, again, somebody yesterday asked me on the live chat what would be the good trailer. Like if I were to change some things on this trailer, right? So first off, I would change the neck. I would have a base neck longer than what I have now, so that I don't have to use the small flip box. Let's say 115, 120, 125 inches base neck, right? And then a small flip box like 40-45 inches for the tandem Jeep. So this way I don't have to change flip boxes. Like now I have to, when I have a load like this, right, I need this I need to use the 36 inch, and then if I have a heavy load when I need to use the tandem Jeep, I have to change to 83. So it's a pain in the butt, you know. Whereas if I had 120, 125, I would use that for this load and then just flip the neck for the heavy load. That's thing one. And then number two, I need a longer deck. So this one is 26 feet, and then we measured, it's actually like 25 feet 6 inches, which is definitely not enough. And it's not just I'm losing loads where they say, oh, you know, 30 feet in the well, you know, or 31 feet in the well, but I'm running into trouble with loads where I can load them, but because of the short deck, they have to be you know, they have to be propped on the rear there, right, like I did with this crane, and because of that they overload the rear of the trailer, right? And so if I had like 3, 4, 5 feet longer, like, you know, like a deck insert, I could have moved that load forward, and it would just keep the weights, you know, more balanced between the truck and the trailer. And so I would love to have a longer deck, but then of course, you know, there's advantages and disadvantages, because then you lose the rating. Fontaine is telling me that if now I have 120,000 and 12 feet, if I add a 5-foot deck insert, my rating becomes 120,000 and 14.5, which is just slightly less. But and the other thing I would change is the height of the deck. So mine is 22 inches loaded, so that's too tall. I would love to have like at least 18. That's a huge difference, you know, in terms of usability. Or I would love to go back to drop side rail, because now all my loads are pretty big, and drop side rail on the sides you're like 14.5. So, and the last thing I would change is quite often I need one more axle in the back, even to do 110, 115 during spring restrictions in Western Canada and in many other places, so like Quebec. So it helps to have one more axle, but the problem also is, of course, is that axle adds weight and your truck becomes 6 feet longer, like the overall length, right? And so, and fine, I've been bugging Fontaine about this, you know, why I cannot just buy a flip axle and hook it up in the back there, because my trailer is only a tandem, right? And at first they said no, you need to buy a new Fontaine, right? Like we have allegedly a 60 ton, which is 3+2 capable. And then they sent me the spec for that trailer. It's much more expensive than what I paid for this one. And also the rating on that trailer is 120,000 in 16 feet. And I said, what kind of trailer is this? 120 in 16, that's like 50 tons in 12. You know, if you divide 120, divide by 16 and multiply by 12, so that's your real rating, because the trailer must be rated in either 10 or 12 feet. If they tell you that it's a 70-ton trailer in 20 feet, that's not a 70-ton trailer. It has to be 10 or 12. Alright, and so I tell them, hey, what are you guys trying to sell me here? This does not look very good. And then a couple of days ago, they came back with approval for my trailer. They said, okay, we're okay with you getting intermediate flip axle, because I have two types of flip axles. One, like the final one, it only has connectors on one side, and then there's intermediate flip axle, the one that has connections on both sides, right? So one side connects to the trailer, and the other side connects to the other flip axle. So I need one of those. So if I can get one of those intermediate flip axle, I can install it between the tandem and flip axle 1, right? And so Fontaine says, okay, you can do it, but your frame rating will go down. And I'm like, how much? And they give me the same number, 120,000 in 16 feet. Like, I don't understand this, you know, like what's the point of adding the axle, right? If your trailer is actually becoming weaker. Like, one of the reasons why I want to add an axle is a situation like with that crane, right? Where the crane is loaded, a lot of weight is in the back, so you just want to have one more axle in there to so that it looks better on permits, right? But they're saying that, well, of course, you know, like that crane was 120, right? So it just means that you have to make sure that the weight is spread. Let's say that crane was sitting on 2 points mostly, so you gotta make sure that the spacing between those 2 points is 16 feet or more, right? So you cannot just take let's say a huge coil, which is, you know, like 10 feet long and weighs 120,000 pounds, and load it on 3+2. And I talked to this guy and he says, yeah, that's normal. He says they always do that. When you extend your trailer, you always lose capacity. Like his trailer is 60 ton, but if he extends it, right, the more he extends it, it becomes 55, 50, even can be a 45 ton, depending how long he is, you know. Switch off the headlights, so I just left my clearance lights only. See, that's why this is like a crazy road, you know. You're either going up or you're going down, or you're turning left or right. And that's why the speed limit is 90 over here. But once we get past out of this lake area, I think probably in another hour, then the road becomes much straighter, and there's... Sorry?
You turn your headlights out?
Yeah.
And what?
He asked me if I turned off my headlights. So yeah, about the trailer, right? So neck, different neck, change the deck length and height, and one more axle in the back. So, and the local guy in Quebec, right, wants me to buy, he has a 65 ton like that, 65 ton, so it can do 130,000 in 10 feet. But it's about 5,000 pounds heavier than my trailer because of it has 3+2 in the back, and I think the deck is 28 feet long, 18 inches tall, and tandem Jeep and the booster, like the whole thing. And I said, hey, I would buy it, but you know, it's super hard to sell. It's not easy to sell the trailer, right? Especially now during this pandemic and stuff like that. But plus my trailer, it's less than 2 years old, you know, it's too early. Like honestly, it's too early. And so what I can do is, so one guy suggested, one dealer from Manitoba suggested, he says there's nothing wrong with the 2+2. And by the way, I'll be able to run 2+2 again, right? When JC fixes up the booster, I ask him to, you know, reinforce it, make it stronger so it acts as 2+2. Because I definitely need that for heavy loads, because you get more allowance in terms of weight. And so yeah, this guy from Manitoba says might be useful to switch to wider tires, right, 12R. But then I went to Kel Tire, and at least the tires the guy showed me, they were much taller. But I'm talking to this guy about this, and he says, but you know that you don't look at the diameter, you look at the radius. And I said, yeah, I know. Because yeah, the diameter, the difference in diameter is not telling you the whole story. So let's say if the diameter on one tire is, I don't know, 3 feet, and the diameter on the other tire is 2 feet, that does not mean that one tire will be 1 foot taller when you put them on the ground, because you look at the center, right? So the center of the tire will only be 6 inches taller, right? And so I think I might still do it, you know, because you get a lot of, but you know, all you basically gain is because my axles are 25,000. Wow, look at this, gorgeous. This would make a cool picture. And you see, and you can spot here, like picture here, if the sun was coming up from those hills, that would be good. But yeah, his truck is pulling pretty good, even though he has only 1850 torque. But he's lighter. He's not as heavy as me, you know. The truck is lighter, but I think, yeah, this is the hill that I remember. For some reason my truck doesn't want to. Stopped for some reason. I had to go into second gear. Stop up to this big hill. Yeah, I told him I'm recording a video, so. Yeah, so we're gonna finish probably somewhere here because it's all gonna be the same. So you've seen the most picturesque part, you know, the lake, the turns, the twists, and so this is the life of a heavy haul truck driver. And but yeah, okay, so just to finish up with the trailer, so since chances are I won't be able to sell it, so what I can do now, it's the cheapest way to improve my trailer, the cheapest, like if I'm thinking about improvements in terms of money, the cheapest way is to buy a deck insert, which is they available in 5 and 10 feet. So a 5-foot deck insert will make my deck 31 feet. It will also add about 3,000 pounds in weight, but it's super useful. That's one thing. And then the next in terms of money is change tires from 275 to 12R. That's a lot of money, and you gain about now I can get 24,000 per axle. Let's say in Michigan, Indiana, if I change tires, I'll be able to get 25. So you only gain 1,000 pounds per axle, or 4,000 in the back, which is still good. And the next after that in terms of money is I'm thinking axle. I can get a used or new flip axle. Oh, that's gonna be about, I don't know, 16, 18, 20,000 bucks. And then I have 3+2 in the back, which is super useful, but also I become heavier and longer. But that would definitely increase the value of the trailer at resale, because a 60-ton 3+2, you know, that's awesome. And the most expensive upgrade would be to change the deck Temisco telling me the brand new deck is 32,000 Canadian or 28,000 for a beam, but I don't want a beam. But basically like 30,000 Canadian, I can get a brand new deck, and I can spec it, you know, make it a bit longer, make it a bit lower, because again, it's a modular trailer, so the whole thing can be switched out. So that's what I'm driving. I'm thinking about this, you know, how to improve my business, always try to get ahead, make more money, how to get to the top, you know, work less, earn more. That's me. That's my goal. Ideally, I want to do one trip a month and make $100,000. So my goals are not, you know, I don't need $1 million. If I could make a $100,000 a month, that would be awesome. But of course, it's not a very realistic goal, but you know, nobody's perfect, right? Anyway, thanks for watching. So I should be in Cambridge end of the day tomorrow, Friday, and then I have to ship my laptop. Apple already sent me the packaging. I got a message from my post office saying that they received the package. I'm pretty sure it's from the Apple, because I used the trade-in program to give them my old laptop, the one I'm using now. And I already have the new one, but it didn't start it yet, so I'm switching to the new 16-inch model. So that's what I have to do Friday. And also, what else? Oh, and I have to do my 2290. So I have to go to the bank and get money order in US dollars for $550 and send it to Revenue US Revenue Service in Cincinnati. So that's my heavy haul tax. And after that, as soon as I get the permits, I can start moving towards Baltimore. So that's where this load is going. And I think the final destination for this machine is somewhere in Africa. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Subscribe, like, take care.